oh my gosh, I'm over 50 or I'm near 50 and I don't know how to put my makeup on anymore. Boy, do I understand. I don't know if you resonate with that or not, but that's where I was. In my 40s, probably that's when things really started to change with my skin and I had no idea what was happening. But I have found ways to apply. I found a makeup I love and I found a way to apply that I just want to share with you because I think, we're all just, we end up getting there. We're there. And if you're like me, you just kind of quit wearing makeup altogether. And I don't want you to have to do that. If you want to wear makeup, I want you to be able to wear makeup. So hi, my name is Sonia. I am over 50. I am your menopausal. Let's go get coffee. Let's hang out and chat. I love to chat. Makeup loving, skincare loving woman. And I've been a cosmetologist since I was 19 years old. And I just love all things beauty. So I love that I have the opportunity to come here and chat with you. So first thing I'm going to show you is this right here is a one compact makeup. And I don't know about you, but especially with eyeshadows, I would have all these compacts laying around and I would have this color used and that color used and that color used. And I would have this, and this not used. And I'd have to go buy the whole compact all over, which is a great marketing thing. But this is all magnetic. I can totally pop out anything I want in these compacts. They come empty and you get to fill it. So I do eyeshadow matches. I can give you eyeshadow suggestions, or what we're going to talk about here is cream makeup. See, it's magnetic. I couldn't get it open. That's magnetic. This is all my makeup all in one place, which is so amazing. I just love it because I can do it my way. And I think as a mature woman, that is super important because I have 2 foundation shades and it's so easy right here to use them. I don't have a bottle. I don't have different containers. I simply have these right here because I need 2 different shades. So let's get talking about that. First, I'm going to put a little bit of hydration on my under eyes. This is the multi-stick balm from the skincare I use. I use a Korean skincare that I found here back in April. And it has been life-changing for me, for my skin. I've had skin barrier issues in the past. And you know how it is. When you get older, the glow goes away. And it's hard. And there's a whole lot happening. There's melasma, there's skin, there's elasticity, there's collagen loss. There's a lot going on. And I don't think I'm going to look 30 again. But I'm going to take care of my skin. I take better care of my skin now than I ever have in my life. And I love it. So if you have any questions about that too, I'm here to help you. So we have that on, letting it kind of soak in. We want those under eyes hydrated. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to tell you how you can get matched to this. If you comment color match during this video, after this video, whatever, I'm going to send you a link to get matched. What I match you to is your foundation shades. I give you a brightener shade. I give you a bronzer suggestion, a contour suggestion. See, it's all right here. And then I just give you ideas for your lip and cheek. These can be worn on the lips and on the cheeks. I give you suggestions. I think that's more of a preference thing, but I suggest you start out with a satin for the most part if you're new to this makeup. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to warm up and tone my skin. I have a little bit of bronzer on because I just did another live video, but I'm just going to show you what I do on the daily, if I can find my brush. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit of bronzer. What I mean by toning my skin is when we get older, we get areas of melasma, we get redness. A lot of us have redness. And by toning and bronzing and warming up that for some of us, lifeless skin, it helps. So I have a cream bronzer. It's right here. I use Bella because I'm more of a medium skin tone. I can help you with that. And I'm just going to add a little bit of dimension and help to my skin. I'm going to add a little bit on my forehead. I'm going to add a little bit over here. I'm a little pink right here, so I'm just going to kind of leave that alone. And I'm just going to tone down my skin. I'm going to add a little bit of life to it. And I love doing this underneath my makeup. So something you might want to try is adding a little bit of bronzer underneath your foundation shade. So then I'm just going to kind of look at myself, and I am going to do a full face of makeup today. Sometimes I don't put makeup in certain areas, but what I'm not going to do is take one color and stick it all over my face because my face is not one color. So I am going to take this shape brush, it's a great brush to start out with. And I'm going to look at my face and I'm going to be like, this here is a little bit red. I have some stuff going on there. My chin, I have acne scarring, broken capillaries that you really can't see. But that's where this darker shade is going to go. If you are mature skin especially, but really almost anyone, but if you have mature skin and you use too light of a foundation shade, you're going to create texture on your face. The reason being is the lighter you go, the more texture is accented, especially on our fine lines and wrinkles under our eyes. You know how those beautiful, those young ladies will stick that bright shade, light shade on their under eyes, and we just can't do that anymore. It will accent pores, it'll accent acne scarring, and it will accent your wrinkles. So no light on any of those areas. We need to make sure, if anything, you need to go darker. So I've already put a little bit of bronzer on, and I'm just going to take this darker shade and I'm going to put it where I'm darker. Hi guys, if you're here, you can say hi. What's going on? So I'm just going to go into this darker shade, and I'm not going to apply too much. We're going to go minimal. I would rather tap into my color more than glob too much on my face. Too much makeup on your face as a mature woman will create texture. I don't care if you're using a cream like I am, which these creams are amazing, but if you get too much on, you're just going to create texture. That's just the way it is with anything. Okay, so I have red on my under nose there and my nose holes, and then I'm going to actually take that color and put it right here on my chin, which, like I said, you can't see my broken capillaries, but there's a lot from me picking my acne when I was younger. I almost had like cystic acne on my chin and my forehead. I don't know why I don't have the pits on my forehead, but I don't. But I do on my, I have some pitting here a little bit, but like you can see this line right here. Like I got a lot going on. So the less makeup, the better, and darker on the chin. Okay, so I've got that. We're good. And if you've noticed, I haven't done my under eyes. I'm actually going to do those last. And the reason I'm doing them last is when you are doing your face, and if your under eyes are dark, when you kind of get some stuff going on in here, it will diminish the under eyes. And then you need to only take care of what you need to take care of. So like I said, I have 2 foundation shades. That was my darker. And now we're just going to go into this one. And I'm going to apply it everywhere else that I have not applied makeup. Okay. So that's just simplifying it for you. 2 makeup shades. You're like, what? Just put the dark on your dark. Now we're going to take this one and put it on the rest of my face, which is going to be down here and basically just up there. So, and maybe a little bit more on my nose. I don't like a lot of makeup on in general because I don't want to accent my texture. Okay, so let's put it on my forehead. Like so. My forehead, I have bangs, so I don't, it's kind of willy-nilly my forehead. And then my nose, I am going to do a dab of both because I have really big pores on my nose and I don't want to go too light. So I'm going to flip this brush over and I'm going to do that and make sure I get the coverage I want on my nose. I have a lot of discoloration on my nose. I don't know why, but I do. Okay, so my foundation is on. And it's, I've talked a lot, surprisingly, but my foundation is on, but you can see that I've just used the bare minimum amount of makeup. And my redness is covered, my skin tone's evened out, but you can even now, if you want, like I want to put a little bit more bronzer on, you can. Bronzer is going to be your friend of just adding some warmth and dimension without having to do much. So don't be afraid to keep applying bronzer. Okay. I'm not going to contour at all today because, hi guys, I'm not going to contour because I feel like when we have to shift, like this is a video for those that are shifting in their makeup. Oh, you know what? I didn't put my link in here to get color matched. Hang on. Show it. There we go. There should be a link here now for you to tap on if you want color match. This is a video for us that are like, you're frustrated and you're just don't know what to do. So I'm not going to contour because I feel like that's next level. So we added dimension with bronzer and now we're going to do the under eyes. The under eyes, this is going to be a little deep for some of us. So we're going to take a little bit where we're dark and I'm purple and I'm going to add a darker concealer because remember, we're not going to put any light on our under eyes. And I'm going to take I can use Golden Hour. Some of you have to go to Demi, which is our color correcting shades like this. And maybe you're using Demi on that area, or if I can get away with Golden Hour, but we can try a little bit of this. So I'll go into this shade right here, which is 03, I believe. And I'll just put that on. I have some purple and I have some blue, and let's just go for it. And what you do is that color correcting shade you put on, I think my daughter's yelling at me. You're going to put it only on the darkness. So we don't smear it all the way across because I don't need it. And most of you don't need it. Most of us are dark right here, and that's it. And that's the only place you want to put a darker concealer. So this here is probably too much. I'm going to simply tap it on here. Remember, we're using less, and I'm going to tap it on the blue. And then I'm going to flip this brush over. And like I said, when I match people, most of the time when I color match them, most of the time what I do is I will give you a 3D makeup like that, Golden Hour, to put on the under eyes. And then if it doesn't work, then we just go from there. So we're doing that. And we're doing that. I hope my daughter is not like hurt or something. She only yelled my name once. I am hoping she realized that I was on a video. Okay, so we got the purple and the blue. We're good. I'm good with that. Minimal is best. I've only put it on the dark, and now I'm going to darken next to it. So you can see the white of my eyes on my under eyes right here. I'm actually going to darken them because if you have dark under eyes, if you darken that instead of lighten it, if you lighten this, let's back up. If you have dark under eyes and you stick a light concealer on it, what happens? Someone in here can comment. It turns gray, right? And then if you have concaving like this and you put white and light under here, what happens? It's all accented. The bag is accented. The hollows of the eyes are all accented, and it's just not doing you any good. So no light on those under eyes. So we're actually going to deepen them. And I'm able to use Suede lip liner. Is that one? Yeah, Suede lip liner. And I use a little bit of Bella bronzer to darken this white area. So I'm going to take this brush and I'm going to take Suede lip liner and just a tiny bit of Bella. Bella was my summer color, so now I'm kind of playing. And I'm just going to tap here. And I'm going to stay out of this. Stay out of your concavedness. We all have a lot of concavedness, honestly. A lot of us have it. Okay, so we're just darkening that up. And we're going to deepen that to blend in the darkness on the under eye. Less is best. Tap it. I always do this. I always press it in and tap off any excess. Now I have some funky white stuff going on there. So this is like a little bit more than the average person needs to worry about. You see how that just blended that in? It's a Suede lip liner. And I just darkened that white. And you see how that you looking at that, you could see it. And now it's like, oh, she totally blended that in. Okay. It's so weird. I know. And if you have like white right here, you need to darken that too. If you have dark. Okay. All right. We're done with that. Now when I'm going to brighten, I'm going to take this bit right here. That's a vein, but it's a shadow. And I'm going to take that and I am going to put brightener in there and we're going to lift it out. Okay. All right. So under eyes are done. Make sure you don't have too much on. Hang on. I got from my glasses that I wear at night. Sometimes I have some discoloration. Okay. So next we're going to do blush, and we have lip and cheek. You can wear this on your lips and your cheeks. I mean, I don't usually wear the mattes or the satins on my lips, but I have Fig here. Fig does not really go with my eyes. Let's grab a different color. What do I have where? Let's go to grab Sandstone, and see what we got there. So we have, don't judge me, okay? Oh, I know what I can use. We have a color out right now. that is where? Right here. We'll use this one because it's more orangey. This one right there, and it's called, Lord only knows. I just looked at it yesterday. Nadia? Naomi. Let's do that. I'll mix it. Let's mix that and Fig. So we're going to take the blush, and this is a semi-gloss. I told you to use a satin, but we're going to semi-gloss it, okay? I like to use my finger, and I like to tap on like so, and I like starting in the back and moving forward. If you have nice full cheeks, like you have a really nice round cheeks, you can start on the apple. I have no roundness I have no apple on my cheeks at all. So I have to start in the back, and I create lift like so, and I just keep going like this, and I just create lift. And I'm going to mix a little bit of that Fig in there because I love Fig. That one's still available too right there. And we'll mix a little bit of that in there. It's kind of dark, so you got to be careful with these. Even though they're semi-gloss, they have a lot of color pigment to them. So I'm just I'm gonna go up like this, okay? And then I'm gonna get the brush out. If you're looking at me like, what are you doing? People, I struggle, and I'm gonna be very honest with you, I struggle with blush placement. I need to go to blush placement school. It just is a thing for me that I struggle with, and I find if I apply it with my fingers, it helps. You don't need to. You can simply go like this, like normal people, and just apply it. And we'll call it good, and we'll call it that you're better than me. I'm okay with that. So I'm just going to add a little bit more of the brush, and I'm just going to go right on my cheekbone and bring a little bit forward. Blush placement, I feel, is a little personal, what you like. But I can tell you some things that you don't want to do with your blush. So regardless of where you like it. So when I get my blush on, see how this is kind of like, this isn't a flushing to my cheeks. You can see the blush. So one thing you can do is take the fluffy end of the brush, take your main highlight, put a little bit on it, and just soften the edges up a little bit. That's all I'm going to do. I'm just simply going to soften the edges up like that and blend it in. Not a big deal. You don't have to do this. I just feel like it gives it more of that flushing of the cheeks instead of a, oh my gosh, look at her blush. Okay. I also like a little bit of color to my cheeks. I don't like to look, I like to look like I have some color in my cheeks. Okay. There we go. That's all blended in. Okay, now we're going to create more dimension and lift, and this is going to be very helpful, and it's going to be key areas. I gotta add a little bit of that orangey to my lips. I'm not matching. It's going to be key to you to totally thinking differently of your makeup. These are going to be key areas of light. We all have them on your face that you can create lift and dimension. And this is going to be something that you don't have to know how to do today. And you can only do 2 of them, and you are going to be good. And then you can start looking at your face and adding a little bit more here and there. So I like to take a brush like the smudge brush. And yes, that was foundation, Kathy. These are called highlights, but they're foundations. So I just put a darker color in my darker areas, and then I put a lighter, my main shade, if that's what you want to call it, the rest of my face on the rest, and that's my foundation. So my foundation is on, and what I'm focusing on is creating lift, dimension, and not adding texture to my already textured face. I've got the lines, I have pores, I have acne scarring, so the least amount I can wear, and I'm just very strategic where I put the makeup. So I'm going to put this light color. Now remember, we don't put light color in areas of texture. So if you have under eyes, you don't put it in your under eyes. You are not going to put it in areas that you have big pores. You're not going to put it in areas of acne scarring, that type of thing. If you're going to look at me and go, my whole face is wrinkled, I totally get it. You're not going to use as light of a brightener as me, or you can use none, but you can even just use one a couple shades lighter than your main color foundation. So I'm gonna take a smudge brush, I'm gonna take the round end, it doesn't really matter which one, and I'm gonna take this light color, and I'm gonna show you how to create lift on your face, because we're not lifted anymore. We're simply sagging. And so now we're going to create lifts. So this is White Peach. I use Aura or White Peach as my brightener. And my areas of light, all of us, are going to be the peak of your brow here, above it. Get a peak if you don't have a peak or an arch to your brow right there. It's going to be outside on this eye and a little bit into the temples, because see how my temples are sinking in? A little bit on the top of my cheek. I'm going to put a little bit of light right here and maybe a little bit right here next to my nose. And I'm going to put here, see where my jowl, so I have jowls, and then I have dark right there from the jowl, from the sinking in, and underneath where I contour. Okay. This is magic. And I don't want you to be overwhelmed right now. I don't want you to be like, what is she doing? This is just one of those things that when you get this down, it creates lift in such subtle ways. It makes you completely think of your makeup differently. So I won't blend it. There's the peak of my brow. I'm going to go here. That's too much makeup because remember, we're in a wrinkled area, but we're just going to, I'll leave it there. I'm going to do a little bit here, like under where I would have contoured. Tiny bit here in my jowl area. And then I am going to go just on the side of my nose. Some of you can kind of brighten right in here. I have too much going on. I have a line here. I have these laugh lines. I'm kind of avoiding that. And I don't really go into this area either with my brightener. So I'm just going to go like that and I'll bring it out as much as possible. I got a little bit much on there, so I'm just going to take my finger. And then I am going to put a little bit right here. And this one is an area that you just got to play with. Okay, so those are your areas of light, or those are my areas of light. And I can also put a little bit right there next. See how the jowl comes down, up, and then down? That's a shadow. So we're just going to put a little bit of light right there. And then I'm just going to blend it in and see how this is going to go. We're going to take the peak of the brow right here. This one's so key. This one will be your best friend. There. And then I'm going to bring a little bit to the top of my cheekbone. And the reason I'm doing that is because we want to lift that cheekbone, and light lifts right there. I'm going to tap this in like I did. And then I'm going to take this. If that's too, you get like a light streak right there. Take your finger and tap it off a little bit like that. Then I like to mix this next area, and this is just personal preference right in here. So right in here, I don't have an apple to my cheek, remember? So right here, I like to take a little bit of light to bring that up. I like taking a little bit of brightener and a little bit of my main shade. Again, this is so easy to customize like that. And then I swish. I just go like that and I blend. And what I'm doing is carving out an apple to my cheek with so little makeup, guys. I cannot even tell you how long this makeup lasts. It really, my contact is going crazy. It lasts me for a long, 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 long time. I kept track one time, and this was about a couple of years ago, on my darkest shade, because it would be my main shade in the summer, and then my color correcting shade in the winter. It lasted me 6 months. Guys, these are $16. The ingredient list on this is very short. It's so easy to just, you know what I mean? Like, it's so easy to customize. Okay, so that is that on there. All right, so we just created areas of light, and I'm going to show you the tear troughs here in a minute. So let's just do this other one there, here, next to the nose. You can adjust this for you. You might be able to go down. Just remember, if you have super dark eyelids, or excuse me, super dark eyes right here, don't put light next to them, because you're just simply going to make the dark look darker. Put a little bit here. I have something on my face. Put a little bit right there. And then I'm going to swoosh around. And then I'll blend. I like a crisp line right here. It makes it appear that I have a nice cheekbone, even though I don't. But you don't want a white line. Okay. Blend this in like so. Put a little bit in your temple. Take your finger if you need to. And you can go down the center of the nose. You can go in between the brows. That's just personal preference. If you want to do that, do it. If you don't, don't. Not a big deal. And then right here. Okay. My chin's a little, I have to be really careful because again, I have acne scarring. And because I have acne scarring, if I put too light, too much, it shows texture. So those are the key things that you want to avoid. What was I going to show you? Oh, the tear troughs. Let me get that light shade back out. Now you see how I can just do that? I can pop that out like that. And I'm going to take the spot brush, which I used just a second ago, right here when I did my under eyes. Okay. Now I'm going to take this and remember we darkened the under eye. I'm going to take a little bit of this light color, not a lot. That is way too much. Okay. Tap some off on my finger. And remember I said right here, I'm going to put light. I'm going to put some light. There's a vein. And there's some concaving right there. And I have the most crepey skin right here. So there's the light, and I'm pushing it in really gently on that tear trough. And then I'm going to use my finger or use this brush. And see how that's filling in that dark area? Same thing over here. You can do that on your laugh lines too. These right here, I call these laugh lines. Some people call those, I call those crow's feet. So I only do this outer part here on the tear trough for the most part. I just feel like that's where I get my best lift. Okay, like you can do this if you want and just tap it in. It's up to you. Light lifts and darker seeds. Light lifts and darker seeds. If you remember that, you are way, way ahead of the game, okay? You're going to be like, okay, I'm not going to put light there because I have wrinkles. Sonia said not to. I'm not going to put, you see what I mean? But let me help you. I can certainly help you with anything that you need. And then I am going to put, now we're going to, some of you are going to be like, but Sonia, what about powder? I'm going to take, I'm just going to use this one powder. It's Vanilla Dust because I broke my other one. We have a feather blotting powder that's really pretty and it kind of helps blur and it's really nice, but I broke it. So we're going to take this and we're going to take a dense brush. I don't like fluffy. I like dense and you need to press it in. You can use powder, but if it accents your texture, you're either using too much or it's the wrong powder. And you need to press it in. You don't want to fluff it because that creates texture. So I like the powder brush. I like several brushes for this, but just for the heck of it, I'm going to use the small end, tap it off. I'm going to put it here and I'm not going to add any to it. And I'm going to put a little bit on my chin and a little bit here on my forehead. Now, this right here, I like a dewy look. My skincare helps me to look dewy. My skincare helps me to look more plump and more lifted. My fine lines, wrinkles, like all of that, it really, really helps. But I do have dents and stuff in my face. So I'm going to take, see how little I have on there? And I'm still going to tap it off. This right here will help it to blur just a tiny bit. And then I'm just going to, like that. So if you want to put powder and set it, you can. You don't have to. If I'm oily, sometimes I use self-tanner. It makes me oily. My skin kind of reacts to it. And then I'll, use more powder. We do have this, and I love this. I don't feel like, okay, back up. I love this spray. It's a prep spray. It's not what their finishing spray, their setting spray. You can use a setting spray. It's totally fine. I don't feel like you need a primer. I don't feel like you need this underneath the makeup. You can try it. I use it over it. I will powder, and then I will take about 3 sprays. I have to make sure where the squirter is. I go 1, 2, 3. And I like it more for setting, personally. We do have the Fixate setting spray. You can try that. And we have another one. The other one that's in the gray bottle, the older one, the Saint setting spray, I would use it more if you have dry to normal skin. And this one I haven't played around with enough to tell you. So, all right. Thanks for being here. Boy, I really chattered a lot. Thanks for being here. Again, if you want a color match, there's a link right now, or you can comment color match and we can get that done. All right. See you. Thanks for being here, guys. I appreciate it.